good then.
We're
So,
good.
welcome to the Northern Knit podcast, where Jocelyn likes to fall down and hurt herself. God, my ankle hurts.
Well, don't do that.
I have that throb. Oh, man. We are a knitting podcast coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, in two separate locations because Jocelyn can't count stairs.
This is unfortunate, but I'm glad you're otherwise generally okay.
I am generally okay. I've been having an extraordinarily klutzy week, but no, I'm fine. I just miscounted my steps down, which is only problematic if you want to stay upright. And, there's that. So I had to call Diana this morning and said, hey, let's record our knitting podcast via distance
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a klutz and next week is your turn to come to me. So don't fall down the stairs next week, Diana. I can't recommend it.
There aren't too many stairs in my regular day for me to fall down. So if I
It
fall
hurts.
down any stairs, it'll probably be your stairs, and then I'm already there anyway.
Yeah, which works because I've got all the stuff we need for when you fall downstairs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll just keep
So
that handy and we'll be good.
we'll be good. It's fine. Uh, which is super disappointing because I pulled out the sweater because we're like in that we have the radio program in the morning which I listen to is CBC, and they were like, oh, and, wind chill warning in effect. So it's like, and it's minus 30s with the wind chill right now in the province, which is cold, you guys. Minus 33 degrees Celsius is cold.
It's very, very cold. It's
Mm.
your nose, the tip of your nose, it has no feeling within 5 minutes of being outside. It is
Well,
cold.
it's because you can frostbite body parts in 5 minutes, like 10 minutes and less. So I had all of my layers lined out, which are significantly fewer than Diana, but they are layers, including the turtleneck.
It's turtleneck weather. Ooh,
It's
it's
turtleneck
properly
weather. So I was
cold
like,
then.
I was prepped and properly equipped to go outside. I just didn't make it that far.
So close.
Whatever. The winter loving person's also klutzy prone, so this is how this works. So Diana, do you want to let everybody know what we're going to cover this week?
Sure. We are going to cover what's in our cup, cool threads, woolly workings, fiber flubs, yarn on the go, wool gathering, the unnamed books segment. I don't know, kniterature. It's the unnamed books segment.
Kniterature. That's the best suggestion I've heard so far.
Okay, well we just named it then. It's kniterature.
Mm-hmm.
And events.
That's appropriately cheesy enough for us. If you're a new listener, hi, welcome. We're crazy. We know it. We're not short. It's never happened. I do my best. And if you're a returning listener, wow, more power to you guys. I
Still
have no
baffled by
words.
that.
I'm
Why?
I'm stunned that this many people listen to us. Like I look at our numbers and I'm like, ha, what? Okay,
I
sure,
don't get it, but sure. Hi, welcome.
whatever.
We're happy to have you.
Oh, I'm super stoked. I just am very confused. Super confused. Anyway, what's in our cup? We've been trying to figure out audio problems so long I've changed what's in my cup.
Oh no. Okay. What's in your cup now?
Well, I finished drinking my coffee, so I made a cup of tea.
What sort of tea? Is it just normal tea? It's never
Just a
normal
green
tea.
tea. Just a green tea. Nothing fancy.
Huh.
And by green tea, I mean literally the green tea you find in the international food aisle where none of the box is English except for the words green and tea.
So it's like the really good green tea.
It's the really good green tea that is in
Excellent.
English. Yeah. So I made a cup of that. So I'm drinking that because I finished my raspberry chocolate coffee and felt like I needed something a little less sweet.
Fair
Follow
enough.
that up with.
Fair
It's
enough.
quite a sweet coffee. You still working through your coffee?
I am still working through my coffee. I put my coffee in the big cup. The big cup. It's one of the biggest cups that I own. I think last time we did this, I had a blue cup, so this is the yellow cup from the set because it's sunny outside and I felt like being sunny inside. In my cup, I have the last of the coffee my brother got me for Christmas, which is Monogram coffee, which seems to be small farm batch made coffee, and they put a little sticker with the story of the farmer on it.
Which is fun.
Yeah. So this
I'm
is available
changing
from
and adjusting the camera so I know where it is.
this is
'Cause I
available
moved it.
from monogramcoffee.com, and this particular batch was packaged in December from Efrain Batista. Anyway, It is most excellent coffee. I am deeply enjoying this, and I am sad that this bag is now empty, and I need to get more.
Oh, it sounds like we might need to place an order together because I think that might be quite delightful to try.
Yeah, I'll have to see where Charlie got it from. Because if
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
available locally, then I would like to,
Purchase it locally.
yes, support local, buy local, whatever
Uh-huh.
whatever that phrase was. That yeah, support your friendly local coffee star.
I think it's just buy local.
Okay.
Support your local stores, whatever they happen to be, mom and pop, indie stores as best you can.
Oh, and also PSA for winter months and static. Always ground yourself on your computer before you sit down, like on the computer tower or the monitor. Always, always, always do that before you sit down. Otherwise, you shock your very expensive gaming headset and you think for a couple of minutes that it might be completely broken, but it's actually not, but it still takes you like 20 minutes to figure out why it won't work.
You know, I don't have to do that, right?
But still, in general, it's good to ground yourself on your computer before you sit down. Just friendly PSA.
I think I've gotten like one static shock so far this winter, and that's only because my niece did a load of laundry without dryer balls.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
produce I have way too much hair and it just produces static. It also
Ah,
doesn't help that I have one of those plastic rolly mats under my chair. So
that makes
between
sense.
the hair on the back of my chair and my feet on the plastic thing, like I just compulsively touch my tower every few minutes now just to make sure that I'm not going to zap myself or my
Yeah,
expensive
because I mean, I'm
electronics.
I'm all hardwood floors in here, so
Yeah, I'm wool socks and acrylic carpet, so that doesn't help anything at all.
no,
Wool
no,
socks are
no, it wouldn't.
glorious, except when you have acrylic carpet in the winter.
Well, at least you know you're awake.
Oh. Chris gave me a kiss before he went out today, because Chris is out
Oh,
being a stormtrooper with the 501st Legion at a hockey game.
good for him.
Yeah, so I'm excited to hear all about that later. I did not get
Yeah,
a
because
picture of him, but
the 501st group, which you should link in the show notes,
I
do
will
a
link
lot
the
of
501st.
yeah, because they do a lot of charity events, and they're a
Yeah, oh, we
wonderful
should
organization.
talk about what that is. So it's a group of people that dress up in screen accurate Star
Nope,
Star Wars
Star
gear.
Wars.
Yeah, sorry, wrong stars. Sorry, we were watching Orville and Discovery yesterday. Star
Ah,
Wars
okay,
gear.
okay.
So he's got a
Star Wars.
Shadow Trooper outfit, which is the black Stormtrooper armor.
hmm I love that he can't sit in it.
It's kind of hilarious. Like, oh, I'm all because he's got like the big, broad shoulders in this thing.
Yep,
He's like, oh yeah, I got my gun and my big helmet. I look
yep.
all imposing and scary. And he
Uh-huh,
takes great delight in taking pictures where he's like pointing menacingly because he can actually pull it off with all the armor on.
uh-huh.
Uh,
You have to realize your husband's the same height as me. I don't find him menacing in his stormtrooper armor because he's my size.
he's absolutely not menacing
Uh-uh,
regularly. He's only like
uh-uh.
mildly more intimidating with the
Yeah,
armor on.
no. No, I mean, if
So
I
I
was
find it
shorter,
adorable.
if I was shorter, like the perspective change would be wonderful. It's just he puts a stormtrooper armor on, and I'd be like, oh, good. Your shoulders are as broad as mine now. I feel less, bulky.
But he's going around being all intimidating,
Oh yeah.
manly, and
Uh-huh.
then he can't like sit down or like go to the bathroom or like anything.
No.
Like I have to help him with everything. He's so needy when he's got the armor on.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I
I
find
think
that
it's
absolutely hilarious.
hilarious. He's adorable, is what he is. That
He
is.
is. I love him
He
so
works
much.
really hard on that armor, and all props to him. He has certainly earned the praise he gets when he's wearing it because he did.
Anyway,
He
and
did a
the
lot of work.
501st Legion is this group of people, and they just go around to charity events and dressed up in all their Star Wars gear to take pictures and just be generally amusing.
hmm
Because, everybody loves taking pictures with stormtroopers.
Yeah. They do some fundraising too, don't they?
I think so. I don't know the extent of what all they do, so I'm going to link them in the show notes, northernitspodcast.com, or link in the description.
I remember
Yeah,
being told, but it was like day 2 of C4. My memories get fuzzy
yeah,
on 6 hours of sleep a night on con weekends,
yeah.
so my recollection capacity is not that good.
Fair enough. You even had the
So
table
there's
right
that.
next to them. My goodness.
I was at the table right next to them, and I remember chatting with them all weekend. It's not like we sat there and chatted about what we were doing. We sort of eyeballed it first day, went, "Oh, cool, that's 50," and then we just started chatting about different board games and stuff because that's what you do. So, sure. You have to remember, I was technically there working and volunteering, and I ended up volunteering. I ended up learning about medieval fencing.
Also true.
So, like, I don't know where and how I get to how I get to where I go and how I do things and what goes on. It's just that is how my life functions. I know you've seen me. We end up in the strangest location talking to the most interesting people, and I have no idea how I got us there, but there we are.
Yep.
One year we should let me loose at the San Diego Comic Con and just see where I end up because it's going to be somewhere fun.
Yep.
Yep. Just don't lose me because you'll never find me.
This is true.
I go walking around. I got like that little animal backpack on, and it's got that lead leash to you. I might have to make an adult version of that just cause now.
That sounds amazing.
Everybody was like, "Why is she attached to you?" It's because when every time she turns around, I've wandered away on her. So like a small child, she feels I need to be leashed.
You're very easy to lose somehow.
How?
I don't
I'm
know.
not a short person.
I
or
know.
quiet.
It's amazing. You have this
I'm
amazing
actually
ability, just whoosh, and you're
quite
gone.
loud, and I talk with my arms, and I'm 5'10", so like I'm slightly above most women in height range, and I'm just like, how do you lose me? And I wear bright mofo colors because
I
I
think
can't see dark colors.
I think it's because when like you'll suddenly stop to look at something, but then you'll like bend over to get a closer look, and then you're shorter than everybody, and it's at that
Yeah,
moment that'll look around and go, "Oh no, where'd she go?"
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, I get because then I would disappear under the crowds because I've bent over to get close enough to something to see what's going on. No, wait, we're doing cool threads.
Yes,
Did we
well,
ever
that
get
is.
through what's in our cup? God, we're so distracted today. Where are we?
We're at cool threads. It's time for some
Oh
cool
my
threads.
Lord.
Cool
Minor,
threads.
quick, and
Cool threads.
oh dear.
I had coffee.
Coffee's quick. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Minor, quick, and easy. I wore my squish shawl out and about because again we're in the minus 30s. And the cowl with no name. It was like the second knitting thing I ever did. I literally garter knit a cowl. It is deep. It pulls up in the hood. It's fancy. It's made out of really fluffy blanket acrylic yarn. And today I'm wearing my Tracy shawl by Hohilo Catelli, done in the Ancient Arts Yarns, Get Off My Lawn, and Hearthside. Such
We're gonna laugh
fucking
every time you say "get off my lawn," aren't you?
It's because I say it like I'm a crotchety old man. I
Okay.
love it.
Well,
But you've been wearing different stuff.
Yeah. It is very cold this week, so I switched out my hat from the pom-pom hat to one that I can put a hood over. So I pulled out the hat that you made me.
The cat hat!
The cat hat! It remarkably fits over this headset. I didn't think it would. I thought it was going to perch on top. Anyway, yeah, so I've been wearing
There's
cat
a lot of
hat.
stretch in those hats.
Well, let's wear it nice and lopsided. There, perfect. So I've been wearing this cat hat. Jocelyn made me for Christmas last year. Yes, not this past Christmas, but the one before that.
Yep, 2017.
And it has been lovely and warm.
That's the point.
And it doesn't smush my hair, which is also nice.
So, see, I didn't know it would not do that. Bonus.
And then my other thing is I pulled out my heaviest weight shawl, which is the texture triangle from a knit along that we did year before last, so 2017. And I did not finish it on time, but I did finish it.
It's the textured triangle shawl knit along that we did with Marley Bird.
Right.
And Red Heart Yarns.
Yes. So this was out of Red Heart Soft, I think. In green
we
and
both
wheat. I don't know.
Yeah, we both. Anyway. I for sure went soft, but I made 2. So.
Yeah. So I pulled out this one because it actually makes a really great scarf. Because it is thicker, but I can pull it up over my nose, and it's got the little holes down the spine, so like the steam can escape, and it doesn't fog my glasses too bad, but it's still warm enough.
Beautiful. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Okay, I got to take all this off now because this room is so warm because it's got 2 computers and it's a south-facing window, and it's a
Oh
smaller
yeah.
room, so it just heats up faster. Oh, and the
Well,
heater is just going full blast today.
did you leave the door open? 'Cause you don't have to have it closed today.
Oh, it's open. It's just
Oh, good. It's a
easily
warm room.
it's easily 5 degrees warmer in here than it is in the living room, where the
Oh, jeez.
thermostat is. It's a
Jeepers.
lot warmer.
Well, if you get cold, you know where to go hide.
Yeah, really. It's toasty in here.
Holy. All right.
So that's my cool threads.
Woohoo!
Got my hair everywhere. Get off. Woolly Workings.
Oh boy.
I have 3 things.
You know what? So do I.
Whoa.
No, I have 4.
Okay.
I have 4. I got 2. It's because I finished the second object.
Okay. Well, let's start with
So-
you then.
I have 2 finished items and 2 not finished items. Let's all be shocked and surprised that I finished crochet stuff.
Oh, gasp. Shock. Jocelyn has finished things. Oh.
We had D&D this past Tuesday. I call in, so I Google Hangout in. One of our players is in BC, and getting the blind person around at nighttime is difficult. So we both Google Hangout in. So while everybody was battling a group of people for which I was not there because I was off somewhere doing other things as my character, I finished the
Oh, yeah,
outside
that was my
circle.
fault.
It was
It was
totally your fault.
100% my fault.
I finished the outside of my cat bed. So I have my 2 navy blue cat bed pieces, a smaller pillow circle, which I finished earlier, and a larger circle that has it's got a stuff. Literally, I'm listening to Diana fail at hitting people while stuffing the rim of this. So it's like, it must have looked so weird because she would just randomly see me get up and leave screen and then come back and not say anything because I didn't want to interrupt anybody. But I needed to go get my stuffing from the sewing room. Then I needed to. So I have a finished cat bed. It is just out of some Charisma yarn. It's acrylic, lightly stuffed. She sits on it every once in a while. She's not sure what to do with it yet, but we're getting used to it being in our environment.
As long as she doesn't eat
done.
it.
No. She's not really big into chewing on the yarn.
That's good.
I'm waiting for her to figure out that the pillow in the middle comes out because she likes to carry stuff places.
So you know you're going to find that pillow all kinds of weird places? It'll
As
just
soon as she
disappear
figures
for
out-
a week?
As soon as she figures out how to listen, okay. So my grandmother, who I love to bits, she's a delightfully crazy old lady, and like she's one of those. She's a happy crazy old socialite lady. So it's like I want to be her when I'm older. She just doesn't care. She goes out, she has coffee, she does lunch, she does her shopping, she visits her girlfriends, and she's like, you know what? Couldn't give 2 farts about complicated crap. She's like, I'm done with all that nonsense. Life goals. To not be stressed about existence when I get into my 70s.
Sounds like a good way to
I'm
be.
just like, cool, yeah, whatever, who cares? She gave me, and she's quite, admit it, I'm her eldest granddaughter, and I am going blind. I know it sounds like I beat people over the head with this from time to time, and I do for very good reasons. But she had bought me a armband that's got a light up strip on it,
Okay.
which I don't use because I can't have additional light sources moving around me because I can't place or locate them. But it came from a good spot. So I'd always meant to give it to somebody else who's out at night who could use the armband as a locator thingy, right? Nope, Phaedra likes it as a toy. It's been in the middle of my bathroom floor, kitchen floor, living room, 3/4 the way under the bed. She walks around carrying it. It's a semi-soft hard plastic, so it slides super well on my hardwood floors. So
Oh,
she
dear.
plays with it and throw it. I'm like, okay, it's cat toy.
Ah, your cat.
Oh, my cat, you guys. So she's got a new cat bed. She's adjusting to it, and that's how that goes. Now we have 3 items each, so you can go.
Excellent. Let me just finish this one stitch here because I'm working on a thing that I'm going to talk about in a moment. But not this moment.
No finishing.
Okay, I'm going to shock the heck out of everybody. I have a finished object.
Is it the pair of socks that you were almost finished last week?
Yeah. But I actually finished them. Look at them. They're finished. Look at these. Oh, my hair's stuck. Oh, I'm pulling on my own hair. Okay. But look at these. Look at these. They're purple and beautiful, and I'm still holding my own hair, even though my hair is officially longer than my arm span, guys. I can't. My arms are too short to escape my own hair. So this yarn is Dingle Dop from Midnight Cravings, and the contrast color in this glowing purple is Raisin the Bar. I got them as a set when we were in Knit City, and cast them on like 2 weeks later, and they're finally done. And they actually are like taller like I wanted them to be. I don't know what I did so differently with the last set of Midnight Cravings yarn that they ended up being short socks, because these ones are tall socks, and I swear the amount of yarn was the same. Big shrug. Anyway, if there was no particular pattern for these, I used the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, which is available for $1 on Ravelry. I highly recommend spending the $1 on it. And the stitch pattern, I figured out by looking at a bunch of pictures of stuff on Ravelry, so you can find that on my project page, which is linked in the description. It's basically 2x2 ribbing with some skip stitches, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, yarn over, pass slip stitch over. You will need a number of stitches that is divisible by 8. I did not think of that when I started. So in a secret place on the socks, the pattern doesn't actually quite work out. So never mind that. You need a multiple of 8 stitches, which is also noted on my project page. And
yeah, okay. So if anybody gets that close to the socks when they're on your feet, they better be your husband.
Pretty much. I also had, it's not really a fiber flub, it's just sort of a, oh, really? Story. So we get catered lunches at work, which is not really the point of the story. The point is that sometimes there are leftovers, and so I took home some leftover coleslaw one day. And I thought I had packaged it up all nice, wrapped it in saran, wasn't going to leak.
Well,
it did
where
leak.
This is going.
It did leak, quite a bit. But everything in my backpack was fine. My book was fine. My computer was fine. All of my stuff was fine. It all leaked into my project bag with these socks in it.
Do your socks smell like coleslaw?
They do still smell like coleslaw. Because I was on the bind-off row, and I just have to finish these before I can wash them.
Yep.
So they're finished. The ends are woven in, and I really need to wash them because I still smell like coleslaw dressing.
Oh boy.
I threw the project. Gross. Fortunately, I could just throw the project bag through the wash. It came out great. It's fine. Good. I have a little bit of leftover yarn, which I'm gonna have to hank and wash along with these because it also smells like coleslaw.
Oh jeez.
But they're done. They're done and beautiful. I'm gonna wash them and wear them this week.
Crazy lady.
Yep. Your turn.
My goodness. You ready for another finished object?
Let's have it.
All right. So, listeners may recall that around the end of last... What do you want, cat?
Hi, Phaedra.
Did the tail walk across the screen again? Yeah. Really? I had talked... Keep your... Listen. No. My Notion bag is not a toy.
Sure it is.
Yeah, that's right. You go down. Go down. I see you listen to instructions as well as always. Oh, and there the tail goes this way. What are you doing? No, you cannot. Listen. Tubby, go this way. Oh. She'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I've been talking about changing over my wardrobe to a mostly handmade wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
Being moderately lazy, I will not make my own foundation garments. That's just too much work.
Seems reasonable.
There are a lot of very small fiddly bits that I'm not interested in learning how to sew. But as part of that, I want to move over my shrugs and cardigans and stuff. So I started by making
Ooh.
myself a little crocheted shrug.
Did you start and finish that this week? Because I haven't seen
Yes, I
that
did.
before.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to test out a new crochet pattern, so I figured I would just make myself a square. And then I was like, well, you know what? This looks really pretty. So I just kept going.
That is really pretty. What stitch pattern is that? That's really nice.
I will actually have to go look it up because I can't recall the name of it right now.
Does this have a project page? Oh,
It
oh,
will. I haven't. I'm gonna. I gotta update the project page here today, so I'm gonna take some photos and then update the project page.
okay.
Um,
Because we would
so
all
it's a
like to
cute
know about
little.
the stitch and the yarn and the stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was watching a lady do it, and she did it as a tutorial for her own like shrug, little cardigan shrug thing.
Hmm.
But I just really like the stitch pattern, so I just took the stitch pattern and made my own. So I'll make sure to link her stuff too, so you guys can follow through and have a pattern for it. Because I just did this sort of same sort of rectangle kimono thing that I like to do, which is like make the rectangle and then
Yeah.
sew the armholes closed. And then I did a simple half double crochet border. So it's a nice little snug. It's a Borello.
Oh,
It's
bolero.
the B. Thank you. It's a B word I can never pronounce. So it'll look really good. This was literally out of scrap mystery yarn that I have around just for testing out patterns with.
It looks
So
really
I'm gonna.
good.
It looks great. I'm gonna make it again in a cotton
Okay.
once I can weigh this, so I know how much grams I need, how many grams I need to make it. So I will make it out of a cotton, and then I will have a couple of shrugs to start my spring summer wardrobe off with.
Excellent.
So I'm very excited. So it has no name. It's just the shrug. I mean I'll link it to the pattern that I used the stitch pattern for, but that's that. And yeah, I started and finished that this week. So
That is impressive. That is excellent. I enjoy
it's
that
not.
thoroughly.
It was just gonna be a little swatch, and it kind of
It exploded.
kept
Kept
going,
going. Got away
kept
from you.
going. I don't know what was going on, you guys, but whatever. It's done.
Okay. So I, of course, since I finished a pair of socks, I needed to start a new pair of socks. And
Uh-huh.
I thought I would also pull out my newest project bag because my other one hadn't been through the wash yet. So this
Mm.
is the bag that Miss C from our knit club made for us for Christmas. So this is mine.
Yep.
Jocelyn's has bees on it. Mine is little like arrow fletchings and I don't know, amoebas. Amoebas doesn't sell it very well. Anyway, it's
It's
very
very
cheerful and
cute.
I love it.
It's very cute. She did a really good combo for the patterns and materials for each of us.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy it thoroughly. And there's
Hmm.
like a needle keeper doodad on the inside that I haven't used yet.
It's a DPN keeper.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I haven't really looked at it yet. Oh, and there's
I
a little like little notions doodad.
I put the Notions doodad in my DPN keeper in with my DPN needles.
I should probably do that. Do I have DPN needles? I don't know. They'll go somewhere. Anyway, they're living in the bag for now. But I started a new pair. Well, no, I didn't start a new pair of socks. I found this sock that was a single sock from like last spring. This is the pair of socks I was working on when Jocelyn brought back that first set of Midnight Cravings yarn, and I just had to cast on the socks like right away. So I apparently made a short pair of socks out of the German sock yarn that I no longer have a ball band for.
Oh, the one that you could never pronounce.
Yeah, I don't know. Some kind of German
Mm.
sock yarn. Anyway, so I cast on my itty little toe. Little wedge toe. It's not that exciting. I've got about an inch of toe. And about
That's
this
all
much
right.
yarn. So I don't know. We'll see when I have an equivalently lengthed sock how much yarn I have left over. I may pull out the cuff on the other sock and make them taller. I may also go nah and just have short socks and some leftover bits for repairs because I will probably need some for repairs because I have a pair of socks out of a blue version of this yarn that needs some repairs and I don't think I have any more yarn for it. So I'm just going to do the repairs in the purple
Mm.
equivalent yarn.
That's fine. Close enough.
Yep. That's what I figure. So, in the theme of Finish What You Start 2019, I am finishing a pair of socks from like last June. And they're just vanilla socks, nothing fancy. Wedge toe, fish lips, kiss heel, standard vanilla formula. Standard for
vanilla
me.
formula.
Yeah, my standard vanilla formula.
That's fair. You all may notice I'm not working on the mystery knit along because I still haven't seen Diana. We're supposed to see her today to have the stitches picked up. So clue 4 got released, and I'm still back on clue 1 because I need someone to pick up those stitches. I may give it a 5th attempt this week and see if I can get them on my own. Maybe I'm having a better vision week this week and I'm able to see it. So no progress to show on that. Oh, my foot. All right. I also did not work on any socks this week either. Gasp. What I'm currently babbling, so I can show you guys as soon as I'm done here, is I'm just about done a row on my goldfish memory shawl. So I know we all love hearing me talk about it, so here we go some more.
It feels good that there are some projects that you don't just like finish in a week, that you actually talk about for months on end, like my various months on end projects. It's making me feel good.
Making you feel good?
Or at least very less inadequate.
Well, it's because it's my putter project, because a lot of the stitch combinations are quite easy to do, so it's great for when I'm sitting in doctor's offices and stuff, which I do a lot, you guys. So if I'm in a waiting room or if I'm on the bus or something, like it's simple enough I can pull it out and work on it, but it's not so simple to the point where focusing on it's boring. Like it's not miles of stockinette in the round.
This is true.
And it's not sleeves for I have no idea why sleeves are such a difficult thing to manage. I get it now, Sleeve Island. I didn't before because I was like, why would it be so hard? It's a smaller version of a body, right? No, I get it. I don't know why, but I get it. So I am working my way through section 6, which is this big long stockinette section. So I put another couple inches on this week. By couple, I mean like maybe 2. So it is a single row striped in my color 2 and color 3, which is a red and a pink. The red is from Knitted Wool Fluxury Yarns, and the pink is Don't Make Me Blush from Dye For You. My other white, it's tucked in there in the bottom section. So I am technically over the halfway mark because there's only 12 sections to the shawl. So I'm definitely making the progress.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. And I have miles and miles of videos to catch up on with this week since the book readathon is done. So I should be able to get more sections finished.
Yay!
Which only leaves one item for me.
And one for me.
Woohoo!
Okay, so for the podcast anniversary knit along.
Yes.
I was knitting Katie's hat from the Four Sisters 2 collection from Cozy Up Knits.
I'm with you. I know what
you're
working on.
I cast it on, and I didn't like it, so I ripped it out. And I cast it on, and I didn't like it, so I ripped it out. So last night, I cast it on again, and I like it this time, so I'm not going to rip it out.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like I'm feeling like it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This is too something.
Big.
This is too small. This is just right. So here we go. We've got some real 2-color brioche ribbing on a hat. And I'm very proud of it. Yes.
Okay.
Because it looks exactly as good as I thought it would. Or I hoped it would anyway.
Good.
So my main color is this gray with a mossy green speckle called Old Smoky from Noble Ruby Designs. And if I flip this around the other way, the inside is this orange poppy color with a gray and black speckle called For the Love of Hugo, also from Noble Ruby Designs. I bought these 2 colors together last January, I want to say, at the Fiber Frolic last January.
Yeah, that's the last time we saw Noble Ruby.
Anyway, so I had thought maybe they might make a nice stripy thing, and then I learned brioche, and I'm like, no, these need to be brioche. So they're getting brioche, and I'm really excited. And
they make excellent brioche.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this hat now because I think it's gonna look really good.
For the record, guys, she's hacked that pattern quite severely at this point. It's a fake brioche hat.
Yes, the pattern calls for I guess the easier tubular cast on and faux brioche, and I decided to go hard mode and do a 2-color tubular cast on in the slightly more difficult way that I like the edge of it better. Cuz look at this edge. It just dissolves into nothingness and there's no like rolly hem bit. And it's stretchy and I love this. I love it so much and it's squishy. It's so squishy. I'm so excited.
That might be the yarn and brioche that makes it squishy, my dear.
Yes. But I'm really excited for this hat. It's gonna be the best hat.
Okay.
Excited wiggle.
You're crazy.
Yes. Not quite certifiably insane.
That's all right.
All right, what is your last thing? As I kick my computer desk and make everything shake.
That's okay. I adjusted the camera when I first started recording on my end, so you're not alone.
There we go. Okay. Everything's good. We're all good. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. In the realm of Jocelyn doesn't finish stuff. What are you talking about? No, I do finish stuff. I just also have 50 million projects on the go at any point in time. And no, I don't want you. Oh.
Bye, Phaedra.
She's looking for her spot on the side of the table to lie down and rest on, which isn't going to work because right now it's currently covered in... Really? Currently covered in knitting. So if you guys remember late last year, I went to a yarn tasting for the new Barocco lines that were coming out in the winter. And I picked a bunch of their Arrow stuff up. Ooh, hang on, wait. Let's do this so I can see what I'm doing. So I picked a bunch of the Arrow stuff up, and I picked up a green variegated. This is a bulky yarn, which weighs nothing.
It weighs impressively nothing. I picked it up once and I nearly threw it.
It's so freaking light. It is that nylon tube construction. So they take the nylon tube and then they blow the fibers into it, which is how you get a bulky weight yarn that weighs about a cobweb.
It's
weight?
Stunning how much nothing it weighs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I decided I wanted to see just how fast I could knit it. Because that's a thing.
Are you going to show me an entire sweater?
No.
Okay.
Maybe next week.
Oh,
I wanted to see my progress, so I time tracked it, which I normally don't track like how many hours I work on something. I kind of like rough ball it and go, roughly about this many hours. So a 2 skein fingering weight shawl takes me about 80 to 120 hours, somewhere in that ballpark, depending on the complexity of the pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're thinking that's not too bad. This was one Critical Role session. This is my back.
Sorry, that was
one Critical Role session.
Okay, that's what, 3-4 hours?
Yep.
That's wow.
I'm just about done my decreasing up my side, so I'm just about ready to start shaping for my shoulders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, wow, that's pretty. The color variation is amazing.
Gorgeous. Knitted up. The color variation is very pretty. You can see my stitch marker that tells me I'm on the right side. I have my stitch marker that tells me where my decreases had started. So I'm probably going to just plow through the rest of this because now I have a rough idea of how long it takes me. This weighs nothing.
I believe it.
Nothing. My socks, when I'm done, like 3/4 done a pair of socks, they're heavier than this.
That's amazing. I'm so excited to touch the finished sweater.
Oh, I'm so excited to wear the finish.
I feel like it's a cardigan.
Oh yeah. Now I bought the Barocco yarn, and I specifically bought a Barocco pattern that was designed for this yarn.
And neither of us can properly pronounce the sweater name, so we're calling it the Barocco sweater, and the proper name will be linked in the show notes.
Nope, not happening. So like my ribbing, which is like 2 inches of ribbing, was like 8 rows.
That's crazy.
It's just because it's so
Man,
thick.
gotta knit with more
It's like
bulky stuff.
bulky. And this is a beautiful lightweight bulky. And if the cardigan turns out as well as I think it is going to, and how it looks like it's going to, there's also a poncho pattern for this.
Mm.
I am totally getting because oh my god, it would be amazing. So I started working on that this week, and I was just like, nah. On Thursday, I didn't really want to work on my crocheted blanket, so I pulled this out instead and was like, let's just see how far I get in a session.
That's amazing.
Uh-huh.
Whoosh.
Whoosh. So now I'm just interested to see how fast I can get it done. And since I can't work on my Mr. Knit Along, I might as well just plow through on the sweater.
Yeah. Wow. So
So
impressed.
I might be done next week because now I'm just going to let loose and work on it and not really watch my hours. I just wanted to kind of know. Because you're always interested, right? You're like, how long does it take me to do something? And I've never done a sweater in bulky weight yarn. So that's about 3 or 4. Yeah, it's about 3.5, 4.5 hours worth of work. Somewhere in there.
Craziness.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to slip that stitch.
Okay. I'm glad that's the stitch you wanted to slip.
Yep.
Are we ready for the next segment?
I think we are ready for the next segment.
What do we got up?
Fiber Flubs, which was just briefly mentioning that I started the hat again, and it's actually working this time. That was it. That was Fiber Flubs.
That's the entirety of it?
That's the entirety of it. It didn't really need its own section.
Oh, jeez.
I guess I already and I'm spilling the coleslaw dressing on my socks, so that's pretty much it. Told you about my flubs already.
Pokey. It's true, you have. Dogs barking.
Woof woof.
I don't know what for.
There's a squirrel or something. I don't know.
Or one of Isabella's friends has popped by. She's got a girlfriend who goes to school with her. Her grandmother lives a couple of bays over.
Okay.
So when she's visiting with her grandma, sometimes grandma will, we're being slightly energetic and need to get the wiggles out. Grandma will send her down and she'll pick up Isabella and they'll go play for a while.
Sounds like a solid plan.
We live in enough of a suburby suburb. Just my way of saying we're really not on the main roads by any stretch of the imagination.
Really
I'm a
not.
dead end series of bays, you guys. Like you can get there's one road in to all of the bays, and that's the same road you have to take to get out. We don't connect to nothing. So if you're coming in here, it's for a reason.
Or you're very, very lost.
Or you're very, very lost. In which case you usually slow down and ask somebody who's walking around for directions. And we'll help you get out. So while I live fairly close to a major intersection, I'm kind of difficult to get to.
Surprisingly, yeah.
So, which is great when you have little people. It means that if she wants to go play in the park, she's 12 now, her and her girlfriend can just go to the park and play.
Nice.
It's a safe enough neighborhood. So there's always parents because we've got that ice hockey rink that we make in the wintertime for them.
Right, yes.
Out at the park. So there's always kids out there playing hockey in the wintertime.
Perfect.
It's also the meeting spot for the sleigh rides just before Christmas.
Nice.
This is my life, folks. So, long way away starting my dogs bark at everything because kids run around loose in this neighborhood. Not just the teenager kind.
That brings us to Yarn on the Go.
I just went to doctor's appointments this week. That's really all I had this week.
I continue to go to book club at work, so my yarn came to that. I was working on my sock. Yeah, super exciting yarn on the go. Doctor's appointments and book clubs.
It's January.
We're very exciting people.
Oh yeah, we live the high life.
I haven't.
You know you want to be me.
I haven't been outside this weekend, and it's been amazing. I really appreciate weekends where I don't have to go outside.
Well, I saw my chiropractor, so we started working on fixing my back problems. And he went over my knitting posture because he wanted to see what stress I've been putting on my wrist. Because I'm developing carpal tunnels in my wrist, not because of my knitting, I've discovered.
Okay.
The repetitive stress injury motion is my cane.
That makes a lot of sense.
So you're not supposed to use your wrist when you use your mobility cane. And as for the most part, I don't. I'm causing a jamming, which is when my stick runs into something.
Mm,
So I'm jamming my wrist up.
right.
That's what the problem is. So when I knit, I'm fine. And I'm like, because when I do this motion, which is like the knitting, crochet, turning motion,
Yeah.
nothing. But if I'm typing, I start to have pain. And if I'm walking for any length of time, uh, when you first get your cane, and in the summertime, Diana probably watches me switch arms.
Yeah.
That's because it feels like I've got. If you've ever used a jackhammer, you'll know what this sensation is. I'll get vibrations up my arm from the jarring motion of bumping over things.
I
So I
imagine it's
switch
s-
shoulders.
somewhat similar to riding a bike on bumpy
Yeah,
Winnipeg roads.
yeah, somewhat similar. I'm just doing it at a slower pace. That's all. So I'll switch arms sometimes with my cane, which predominantly I use my left hand. Go figure. I'm left hand dominant. I use my left hand for my cane. What?
Whoa.
Crazy,
Madness.
crazy talk. So I've been causing some damage, so we need to take a look at doing that. So if you see me knitting with braces on shortly, it's not the knitting's fault.
Well,
Because
that's good.
I do the hips and knees at 90 degrees and feet flat on the floor.
I have one foot kind of on the floor.
That's not how you're supposed to sit.
I know, but I also don't
So,
knit nearly as much as you. When I'm going
yes,
to knit a lot, I do sit properly, but
yeah. I know I knit a fair bit. So I did that this week, but we went to the doctor's office and worked on our shawl and then came home again.
yeah, it's been a boring week. I'll have more
It's just
exciting yarn on the go
in
next
January.
week, but that's next week.
Well, I've got Nate and Nosh this week, and then we're out to Brandon on Saturday,
True, true.
and then Sunday we're at the Fiber Frolic.
Oh,
So
we're
like
gonna have so
next
much
week,
stuff. Oh man.
so much stuff. This week, nothing.
At work this week, I have Innovator Die coming up, and
Oh,
the
that's right,
craft
you
club is
do.
doing a project, so
Hmm.
I'll have that to talk about as well.
Awesome sauce. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's it, then we're on to the next section.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Wool
next?
gathering. We were going to talk about the live chat with Patreon supporters.
It's going to happen on February the 9th. Aren't you proud of me? I used the right day this
Yep,
time.
Saturday, February 9th.
I'm getting a hold of all of the Patreon viewers or Patreon members to solidify a time for that. So me and Diane have just booked the day off. So like at some point during the day, we will be doing that. We're just not sure what time yet. So I'm going to see who's where in the world, and we'll try to arrange a time that can work for everybody. That isn't like 2 in the morning for someone.
Yep.
So
And
I'll work on
for people that are curious about Patreon, at what level do you have to support us in order to uh, be invited to the live chat?
it. That is something you and I have to talk about. We need the dollar amounts before I can go public with the updates.
Fair enough.
Because I've got some dollar amount set for things and for smaller things. And I mean, uh, it's one of those ones that if you can donate, we super appreciate it. And because we fell so far behind on stuff, which is nobody's fault but my own, that is full on me. I took on too much stuff over the Christmas break and I wasn't feeling well and I was overwhelmed and I didn't ask for help. So it's nobody's fault but my own. So I've got huge personal apology emails going out to the Patreon people up till now. So everybody up till now is getting a one-time invite. After that, I think we set it at like the $10 marker. You got into the
I don't know.
live
Patreon's all
feed.
you, man.
It's my baby, and man, man, I will be in so much trouble if it was an actual real thing and not electronic. I think I'm bad with my project pages, you guys. You have no idea. Though I did figure out I can use the app on my phone,
Oh,
which is
excellent.
good because if I can use the app on my phone, even when I'm having bad focus days, I can still do stuff on it because then I can use the voice assist,
Right.
which I can't do on the computer. So we might improve my capacity for doing things, you guys, because I definitely need to do that better. So I wasn't sure if it would work or not, so I finally did a test run this week, and yes, it does work. I mean, not all of it and not well, but I'll be able to muddle through. So
Well enough.
well enough, it'll do. All right. So that's happening. Do we want to talk prizes?
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
prizes for the hashtag. Uh, I haven't talked about it in a couple weeks, and now I don't remember what the hashtag was. Year of the
Year of
sock.
the sock?
Year
No,
of the
it's Year of
sock?
the
Question mark.
sock.
Yes. Question mark.
I had gone and collated everybody. I printed everybody out, and I drew winners.
Excellent. So let's have it. What do we have for winners? Who
Do we
do we
want to talk
have
about
for
the grand
winners?
prize winner? Listen, we were going to do a couple of prizes, and it'd be good, right? So we're going to do 5 prizes. Five prizes.
Okay.
And it's going to be a mini skein and some fancy tea and a little sock sack because it's about sock knitting. This seems like a good prize to me.
Yep.
I'm not done sewing the sock sacks yet, so I will show those next week because I've got 2 more to finish before they're done. So we'll talk about those next week. And to be honest, I have to go pick up the mini skeins anyway.
Fair enough.
Yikes, you guys. Hey, listen, I warned everybody. It'd be like the end of January before I had it all put together.
Well, we're right on track then.
I am right on time. Like I know myself. I know better. So we have 5 winners for that. And this will be interesting because while I'm well lit for the internet, I am poorly lit to read. So I will hold this up to the camera and see if Diana can focus on it because I wrote Big Jocelyn font.
Okay. Our grand prize winner is Mystery Sewer because, oh my gosh, you make a lot of socks.
She made the most socks. She made more than 20 pairs of socks. She's getting a whole special prize, which we had not thought we would have to do because I thought, like, who's got time to make? No. Sandy, who's the mystery sewer, who, by the way, Great Dane puppy. Hello, I'm coming for visit, and Diana says we can be friends because you like hot chocolate. I may have stalked you on Ravelry. She's gonna get a separate prize. I have no idea what that is because I'm gonna go buy it while we're at the Frolic Fiber event next week. Whatever floats my boat when I get there next week, Sandy. That's what you're getting. This is my life, people. And then these are all the mini skein set winners. So they'll get a mini skein, a tea, and a bag. Oops, am I close enough so you can see?
Yeah. Ki and Craft. Busy
Yeah, I'm
Bee
not sure about that one.
123. Knitting Mama 64. Rachel 1137. And Lisa M. Chuck, I think.
Yeah. So those are our grand prize winners. As you can see, I've got them written down on the fancy lined paper, which will then immediately get moved and taped to my calendar so that I remember I have to do this. Hey, listen, I sent off prizes last year, and one of our prizes didn't show up, so now I have to get a replacement prize.
Man, Postal Service, why?
It was during the strike when it was sent out.
Oh, it's probably just lost somewhere.
Yeah, like if it's lost, it could be lost permanently. So I don't know. So I'm just gonna get a replacement for her because I feel bad about it. And I mean, if her original shows up, hey, you get 2.
Yay!
Like, it's out of our control, but I still feel bad about it. So, ta-da! So, it generally means that if I'm mailing prizes in like first week of February, I will be right on track to draw prizes at the end of March for the podcast anniversary to the law.
Perfect.
Oh, you guys, I shouldn't be in charge of things. I'm really good
I do
at
appreciate
delegating.
it.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, I know.
As it was, we were setting up to record this morning, and I was so worried that I had the wrong numbers, and it wasn't Sandy, who's like the mystery sewer. So I was like, literally, as Diana's writing show notes, I'm frantically looking at the FO threads again to make sure my numbers were correct.
Okay. That's all we have for Wool Gathering. I believe that brings us to the book segment, which we just named Kniterature.
Yep. Literally while we started recording.
Excellent. Well, Kniterature, which is where we just talk about books.
Yep. I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet because we did guys. Like
we did a lot last week.
I cut parts of the book section last week, and I cut a whole spiel rant out of Wool Gathering last week to get us down to 1 hour and 20. We were almost at 2 hours when I started last week.
We talk too much.
We talk too much. So I just wrapped up the readathon, the biannual bibliothon, the winter version. I made 6 out of 7 books.
Wow, I didn't even make my one. I didn't even bring it in here to talk about because I still haven't finished it. I'm
I was
going to
short.
finish it. I just didn't
I
finish
was
it in the
short.
week.
Yep. I was short an hour and a half reading via Audible to finish 7 books.
Wow.
It's because I
That.
stopped to watch Critical Role.
Uh.
I made the decision. I was like, it's gonna suck because I'm probably not gonna make that last book, and I was right. I didn't make the last book, but I really enjoy watching Critical Role, so it was fine. So I made it through 6 books, and it was the first and second book in 3 different series that I've already read that I want to reread.
Nice.
So it was book 1 and 2 of the Throne of Glass series, which is Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight. Book 1 and 2 of the Anita Blake series, which is Guilty Pleasures and the Laughing Corpse. And then books 1 and 2 of the Meredith Gentry series, which is A Caress of Twilight and a Kiss of Shadows and Caress of Twilight.
Nice.
The Meredith Gentry series and the Anita Blake are by the same author. They're both by Laurel K. Hamilton. So the Meredith Gentry is the one I recommend for you for the Fae stuff.
Okay.
But it does have Throne of Glass is young adult, and it just gets more adult from there.
Okay.
I like a good novel that combos plot with adult fun time.
Okay.
And while Anita doesn't start that way, Meredith, you're right in it. There's no
Suits me just fine.
book 1. It's all about pretty boys and fae culture as Laurel K. Hammond has sort of envisioned it, and you're straight up descriptive into fun time. So, okay, and political intrigue and court stuff because she's a member of the fae courts. So, I enjoy it. It's not everybody's cup of tea. If you don't like your mystery with sexy fun times, then you're not going to enjoy it. If you happen to enjoy well-described, very pretty fae men, you're good to go. Do it up.
All right.
And
Cool.
magic and guns and political intrigue.
Sounds like it has it all.
It's an urban fantasy, so like I find it quite enjoyable. Urban fantasy or mystery, depending on how they've got it registered for the bookstore.
Nice. Cool. Well, I finished for the workbook club. I talked about it last week. Old Man's War by John Scalzi.
It's a good book.
Yep. Yeah, we had a good discussion about it at book club. The main criticisms were the writing style felt very much like a first book, as in blah blah blah, he said, blah blah blah, she said, and just some characters lacking a little bit of depth. But I mean,
I don't know where on the scale that falls for John Scalzi. Like, it's a fairly older book for him.
It was, in fact, his first published book. Not the first one
Great.
he wrote, but I think it's the
The
third
first
one he
published?
wrote, but it's the first one he published.
So then he's right on par.
Yeah.
He's doing. Yeah.
So other than that, it's
I knew it was early. I didn't realize it was his first published work.
Yeah. So it's just a generally fun roll through space and shooty the aliens and stuff. Not too deep.
No.
It was just it was a good time. I enjoyed it. It's part of a 6-book series. The next one is Ghost Brigades, and I'm going to read the rest of the series because it was fun. It was simple. There's no political intrigue. It's just you're in the military, go shoot these aliens, and some stuff related to that.
That's
nice, simple, straightforward, shooty, fun time.
Shooty fun time?
Shooty fun time.
Listen, not everything we read or listen or watch has to be massively in depth.
This is true.
You can sometimes just do stuff for fun.
And then I had finished the nonfiction technically book that I was reading. That was Women in Tech.
The Women in Power. Or Women in Tech, sorry.
Women in Tech, yeah. So I started The Smart Girl's Guide to Privacy by Violet Blue. And if you're thinking, Violet Blue, isn't that somebody of a very sex-positive and adult entertainment nature?
Nope.
Yes, it is
Not
that Violet Blue.
I have no idea who that is.
In case anybody does, yes, it's that Violet Blue.
I have no idea who that is.
I only know that because somebody told me. Apparently, she is or was, I guess, used to be. She's like a blogger and stuff now, but I believe she used to be a porn star. Somebody
Sure.
told me. I don't know. Anyway, she wrote a security book, and it's actually very highly rated by everybody in the security industry as being a really good guide to privacy on the internet.
Well, if
So I'm
there's
reading
anybody
it,
who would understand the difference between privacy and public on the internet, it would be somebody who used to be in the adult entertainment industry.
right? She's also written a pile of other books, all very sex positive, and now she does, I think, news news blogging for. I looked this up right before we started and I forgot. She does news blogging. Anyway, it's very easy to find her stuff on the internet. So I'm one chapter in, and it's friendly large font. It's all
Cool.
very friendly and approachable to guarding your privacy on the internet. So I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. It's not super thick, so informative, friendly.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
I got so much on my TBR pile, I don't know when I'll get to it, but I might add it to the list. I might add it to the list, you guys.
Yeah, I've had this one kicking around for a while. I bought it at DEF CON when I was there in 2016. So
Yep.
it's been hanging around for a while, so I'm glad I'm finally getting to it.
Awesome
I would like
sauce.
to
Cool.
read all of the books that I got at DEF CON in 2016 before I go. No, sorry, I went in 2017.
Yes.
Yes, because last year was 2018. Where I
Yeah,
didn't go.
and you couldn't go because it was the week before your wedding.
Yeah, it's a little bit too close.
And you were delusional in January and thought you would be able to do it, and we all started laughing at you then.
I could have done it, and everybody at home would have had a hernia, but I could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I would like to finish all of the books that I bought in 2017 before I go again in 2019.
That makes sense.
So there's that's 2 of the stack done, and I think I have 3 more. Anyway, I will get to them eventually, and I'll talk about them as I read them.
I don't know. I don't know how big of a stack of books you brought home.
It was It was stacky.
It was stacky.
It was stacky. It was enough to be called a stack. I feel
okay.
like it was about 6 books.
I suppose I'm told I'm one of those weird people that I find it odd that you can't just have sex positive conversations with your parents. I do.
My parents would make it weird.
My parents
Not that I
don't
couldn't.
make it weird.
Maybe I don't know. They're more conservative that way.
My mom really didn't want grandchildren. So her view on it was, so long as we're upfront and public and very open about it, that she could reduce the risk of having grandchildren.
Makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Because there was no, we didn't, neither one of us had really any huge interest in it, because we're like, whatever, it's not scary or taboo or something that'll upset our parents. So like, it wasn't a rebellion point for us as teenagers. Because we're kind of like, yeah, we talk about this at home. What's the big deal about it?
Mm.
Which, by the way, worked really well for my mom for everything else too, because we didn't really drink underage or do anything else underage, because my mom wouldn't have cared. I could call from a house party at 16 and be kind of toasted, and I'd get a ride home, no questions asked.
Yeah, I was just boring and lame and didn't do anything as a teenager.
Well, it wasn't considered rebelling, so I'm not sure how cool of a teenager I was in my parents' eyes.
You actually did teenagery things. I sat at home and read fantasy books. That was like basically everything I did.
If I stayed at home too much, my dad started to worry that I didn't have an appropriate social life. He'd start prying. So if I didn't go to these things, Dad would be upset because I wasn't being a teenager.
Yeah, I just didn't go anywhere ever. I mean, small town, there wasn't much place to go.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's fine. He does it now too. He's like, you don't really do much. I'm like, no, Daddy, I do a lot. I just happen to do a lot of it alone. Because that's the style of my life right now. Just that my daddy's worried that I'm in my 30s and not married. Like, I love my daddy very much, but he's got some strange thoughts on things. My mom is quite happy. She'll let me go to university, be a professor, and be single for the rest of my life. She will be so stoked. No grandkids.
Nope.
I understood that. I got the message loud and clear. It's not. I was like, grand cats. That's it.
Grand Cat's
Doesn't want
approved.
anything else. Grand Cat approved. I guess because she says it's creepy when Isabella calls her grandma because she does not feel like a grandma. Like, you don't look like one either, so it's fine. Poor Bobby. She was probably texting me because my phone keeps buzzing. She's probably lecturing me right now about falling and hurting my ankle.
Probably. Want. Okay, I'm done. I've done my lecture.
Sorta. More like, you know better, count your steps. You know you can't just willy-nilly do things in the universe anymore. I know. It's nobody's fault but my own. I have to count stairs when going down them. That includes the stairs into my basement apartment, because if I don't, I have no depth perception, so I don't know when I'm done on stairs.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so the risk of falling is quite high now, so.
If we are done with books, I believe we just have
Yeah.
events left.
Shall I talk a whole bunch?
Probably. Well, okay, we've got our podcast anniversary knit along going on.
Yep, the podcast anniversary, the second edition.
Yep. Podcast anniversary 2019, the second. I don't know. Whatever. It's knit anything by the Stitchin' Sisters of Cozy Up Knits podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, they're Cozy Up Knits on Ravelits.
Yep,
Ravelits? Oh my gosh.
Ravelrits?
Cozy Up Knits on Ravelry. Knit anything by them by the end of March, so March 31st. And enter a picture or a link to your project page on our finished objects thread on our Ravelry group to be entered for an as yet undetermined prize.
I haven't been to the Fiber Frolic yet.
We will be determining the prizes shortly.
I haven't made it to a knitting event to pick up prizes yet, you guys.
Well,
I do fund all the prizes. It all comes out of my own money, so it's what I find, and I go, this would be cool. This works on theme. So I honestly just don't know what it is yet. I'm sorry.
We'll figure it out.
It'll happen. We'll get there.
I feel like there was something else I was going to say about that. Oh yeah, we have a discount code for 25% off?
Yes.
Question mark?
Do you remember what it is?
25%. 25% off of Cozy Up Knits designs. And it was, oh man, I even used it myself. Come on, it was Northern. No, I don't remember. It was like Northern Knits Podcast KAL.
Nope.
Nope.
No, it's the Northern Knits KAL 25.
There we go. Northern Knits KAL 25.
On the bright side, you don't have to trust us. In the chatter thread, I made sure the coupon code was written out properly, so you can copy and paste the coupon code if you need to.
Yep, it's also in the show notes.
Yeah. Oh, I like had a cup of coffee.
What else is going on, events-wise?
Events-wise?
Yeah.
No. We have the Frolic with Fiber coming up next Sunday. We are going to be at the Norwood Community Center, participating along with the Norwood Naughty Knitters. All the words that come out of my mouth. And it runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we'll be shopping the vendors and chatting with the people. I'll probably be ogling the spinning as I do. My foot treadle action has gotten quite good. So I'm feeling like it's time to think about putting in some string, some fiber into that, make some yarn. So I'm creeping closer to spinning. So I wanted to get good with practicing with the wheel so that it would be down to a motion that I didn't have to think about, because once I put yarn into the mix, I have to focus on the yarn. I can't focus on the treadle. So I needed to have that treadle motion down solid. That's just because of my vision. So I knew I'd be a little bit slower to start, but my spinning wheel is an Ashford traditional, and I've got my treadle. It's a single treadle, and I've got it down so it's very smooth and very consistent, and I can stop and start and go forwards and backwards, and like I got all the bits and pieces of that figured out. So step 2, focus on the yarn and focus on the fiber and start making yarn.
Excellent.
So I might be ogling people's spinning wheels on the Sunday. There's going to be Highland dancers again this year.
Excellent.
So excited. It was so much fun to watch last year.
It was.
So I'm excited to see who's there. I'm hoping there's some alpaca people, because alpaca. I know Daria's going to be there. Cannot wait. Daria is the dyer from Cloud9 Fiberworks, which is local here to us, here in the city in Winnipeg, and she is such a freaking delightful personality. I just like Daria so much, and I love her yarn. She's such a good dyer. So I can't wait to see who else is going to be there. I'm hoping Deck for You is there. I'm hoping Noble Ruby's there. I'm hoping the Alpaca Circle's there. I'm hoping Dragon Fiber Bags makes it out. So it's like I'm hoping a bunch of the usual suspects for local handcrafters here in the city make it in. So that'd be good. It'd be good if like Hillary's Yarnoria makes it, though I can't remember if she did or not last year.
I
I
don't
can't
remember.
remember.
Anyway.
There was a couple people there last year that I've never seen before. So maybe we'll get lucky and they'll be back too. So there's that coming up.
To bring cash this time because last time there was a lady selling gorgeous, delicious looking cookies, and I wasn't able to buy any because I didn't have any cash, and I was very sad.
Gotta pull cash on Saturday, so that's a thing.
Cool.
So that's that. Otherwise, we don't have anything that we're currently either actively participating in or have actively said we're going to participate in. So there's that. I am really not likely to finish the Mystery Knit Along for the Twin It Up shawl. Since Clue 4 just got released and I'm still stuck on Clue 1 because I haven't picked up my stitches. It runs till I think Clue 5 will come out in a week from now, and then you have a week after that, so like just before Valentine's Day it wraps up. Oof. So there's still like a Hail Mary's passive chance that I'll get it done.
You've done fingering weight shawls in a week.
Yes, I have. I usually don't do a 3 skeiner. That usually takes me like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it's starting to get tight, even for my ability to just plow through and knit like crazy. So we'll see.
Stretch.
Here's hoping. Otherwise, that's it for the big events for us for the year until Manitoba Fiber Festival, because we are not traveling this year because I have some upcoming surgeries. And you have a honeymoon.
I do.
So we'll be traveling next year.
Yep.
And if you want to go to DEF CON next year, then we'll have to figure out what time that leaves you for vacation. And
I'll
work it out from there.
Yeah. I'll have more vacation by then because I'll have been at the company longer and I won't have a honeymoon taking up a week or two of vacation. So it should be fine.
Yeah. So we will figure it out for next year. So I may or may not go to a retreat in April.
Ooh.
I was talking with my mom. It's happening out of Regina at the end of April. And my mom said once they release more information and stuff, that if I was interested, she had no problems doing that because Dad was sitting on the couch watching hockey. And my mom was like, hang on. She's like, Daughter's going to come up visit in April. Will you drive her to Regina for a retreat? And Dad went, yeah, it's 2 hours. He's like, that's nothing. Yeah, no problem.
Nice.
And he's got a job site just outside of Regina. So he would drive me in Friday morning. He'd, or Thursday night, he would check on the site on Friday and then just swing by on Monday and swing by on Sunday and pick me up and drive me home again.
Nice.
And I've got friends in Regina. That I know that shocks you people so much. Mm-hmm.
Well, is there a city where you don't know somebody?
Oh, lots, many. It depends because they're currently trying to sell their house, so they may or may not have space for me. So I might have to get a hotel. So we'll see. We will see. So I may be able to make it out to some events depending on getting out and finding spaces and stuff. So I'll see what I can sneak in this year.
Sounds good.
Otherwise, that's it for us, really.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at getting a car so we can actually go to all of the things all of the time, locally at least.
Exciting. It's so exciting.
I was gonna go car shopping yesterday, but it was just so cold.
It's quite cold.
It was properly -40 yesterday. It was too cold.
Yeah, no. Yesterday I stayed in the house because it was cold, and I was like, I don't actually need to leave the house that badly. Thanks, I'm good.
Yeah. So we'll work on getting this car thing so we can actually go to all of the local stuff outside the city.
Which would be awesome. I mean, you'll find it easier just for life.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But yeah, it'd be nice to go like the Carberry Hills the Blue Hills Festival.
Yep.
Yeah, in the spring. I don't have dates on that yet. So, and there's some other smaller ones we've never been able to make it to just because I can't drive anymore. So, and there's some over like out in like Kenora and Ontario and stuff that are still like it would be a 2-day trip for us. Like it'd be a weekend trip because we'd want to drive out, do it, and then drive home the next day or something. So. But there are definitely things we can take a look at doing in our general area.
Yep.
That'll work. So we'll do it up, see what we can swing.
All right.
Otherwise, yeah, no, that's it for us for the week. Whew, that's really concise for us. Really, I'm very impressed, which is good because my ankle is killing me. I need to go lie down and ice it.
All right. Well, I'll let you go then.
All right. I will say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit.
Don't forget to knit.
All right. Done.
Done.
It's a wrap. Oh, Jesus, my freaking, I throb. I'm like, I know, go ice you. I get it.